מה טוב ופניים שמרחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ופניים שמרחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ופניים שמרחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ופניים שמרחים גם יחד. How good it is,
how good it is,
how sweet it is,
how sweet it is
to be together on this day. How good it is,
how good it is,
how sweet it is,
how sweet it is
to be together on this day. הנה מה טוב ופניים שמרחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ופניים שמרחים גם יחד. How good it is,
how good it is,
how sweet it is,
how sweet it is
to be together on this day. How good it is,
how good it is,
how sweet it is,
how sweet it is
to be together on this day. הנה מה טוב ופניים שמרחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ופניים שמרחים גם יחד.
It was interesting. Last week I was not here. I was down in D.C. with some congregants at the URJ's big 150th anniversary celebration. And while we did celebrate 150 years of the Reform movement, yes, our synagogue does predate the Reform movement, but no, I don't think we joined it until the 1940s formally. You could tell that the celebration was dampened because of what was happening in the world, dampened because of war, hardship, of the rise of anti-Semitism we're seeing. And yet there was still joy. There was still celebration. There was still song and dance, even though it wasn't what it probably would have been. I think one of the important things that Judaism teaches us is that we can hold two things in balance at the same time. The world can be incredibly complicated. It can have hardship, it can have sorrows, it can have war, it can have the death of many. But it can still be beautiful at the same time. And that's one of the things we lived through last week as we were noticing what was happening with the world. So we come here tonight all together as one community to enter into Shabbat, to find Shabbat joy, even if there are things in the world around us that keep us from fully enjoying that Shabbat. But we do so with community, and we do so as one. So let us take a moment now to hold those two worlds in balance as we enter into a new Shabbat together.
Shabbat Shalom. My name is Allison Warzala, and it is my pleasure to welcome you to Anshe Emeth Memorial Temple. Whether you're here with us in the sanctuary or joining us online, I'm so glad you have chosen to join us tonight for Shabbat. I don't know about you, but it's been quite a long week, and I am looking forward to embracing the Sabbath bride as she joins us and we take some time to just decompress. So now I'd like to invite Sarah Khan to light our Shabbat candles. The blessings can be found on pages 2 and 3. Shabbat Shalom.
Page 2.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kirshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehalif ner shel Shabbat. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the light of Shabbat.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kirshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
We continue on the bottom paragraph on page 13.
ישמחו השמיים ותגל הארץ, ירם הים ומלואו. ישמחו השמיים ותגל הארץ, ירם הים ומלואו. Yamamai mai mamai, yamamai mai mamai, yamamai mai mamai mai mamai mai mamai, yamamai mai mamai, yamamai mai mamai, yamamai mai mamai mai 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 mai, yamamai mai mamai, yamamai mai mamai, yamamai mai mamai mamai mai mamai, yamamai mai mamai, yamamai mai mamai, yamamai mai mamai mai 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 mai, יספחו השמיים ותגל הארץ, ירם הים ומלואו. יספחו השמיים ותגל הארץ, ירם הים ומלואו. Yamamai mai mamai, yamamai mai mamai, yamamai mai mamai mai mamai mai mamai, yamamai mai mamai, yamamai mai mamai, yamamai mai mamai mai 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 mai, yamamai mai mamai, yamamai mai mamai, yamamai mai mamai mai mamai mai mamai, yamamai mai mamai, yamamai mai mamai. Yamamai mai mamai mai 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 mai.
Page 16.
Yai 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 rai 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 yai rai 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 yai rai rai yai rai 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 yai rai אדוני בכינור בקול זמרה, בחצרות בקול שופר, הריעו לפני המלך אדוני.
Pages 20 and 21.
Yada la 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 lecha dodi, yada la 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 likrat kala, yada la 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 penei Shabbat nekabela, yada la 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 lecha dodi, yada la 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 likrat kala, yada la 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 penei Shabbat. Penei Shabbat nekabela, Shamor vezachor beribor echad, Ishmiyanu el hamyuchad, Adonai echad, Ushemo Shemo tiferet veliteila, yai dai dai, yada da da dai lecha dodi, yada da da dai likrat kala, yada da da dai penei Shabbat nekabela. Shabbat lecho v'nercha, ki mekor haberacha, merosh mikedem nesucha, sof ma'aseh b'machshava tehila, lai lai lai, yada la 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 lecha dodi, yada la 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 likrat kala, yada la 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 penei Shabbat nekabela, mikdash melucha, kumitzei mitoch hafacha, rav lach shevet be'emek habacha, behu yachamot alai chemla. Lai, 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 yada, da, da, lai, penamari. Yada, da, da, lai, likakala. Yada, da, da, lai, penei Shabbat. Penei Shabbat nekabelam. Hitna ari me'afar kumi. Livshei bigdei tifartecha mi. Al yad ben Yishai beit halami. Korva el nafshi ge'alai. Yai, dai, dai, yada, da, da, dai, chadoli. Yada, da, da, dai, nekrat kalam. Yada, da, da, dai, penei Shabbat. Penei Shabbat nekabelam. Hit'oreri, hit'oreri, ki va'orechu mi'ori, uri, uri, shir daveri, kevod Adonai, alaich nigla. Lechadodi likrakala, penei Shabbat nekabela. Lechadodi likrakala, penei Shabbat nekabela. Lo tevoshi velo tikalmi, ma tishtochachi u'ma tehmi ma yechesu. Aniye ami v'nivneta iratila. Lechadodi likrakala, penei Shabbat nekabela. Lechadodi likrakala, penei Shabbat nekabela. Vehayu livshi shosayik verachaku. Komevalayik yasisalayik Elohayik kimsos chatan akala. Lechadodi likrakala, penei Shabbat nekabela. Lechadodi likrakala, penei Shabbat nekabela. Yamin usmol tifrotzi ve'et Aronai taritzi al yad ish ben parti v'nismecha v'nagila. Lechadodi likrakala, penei Shabbat nekabela.
rise neither body or spirit.
Likrakala, penei Shabbat nekabela. Boi v'shalom ateret balagam besimcha uvetzolato chemunei am segula. Boi chala, boi chala. Lechadodi likrakala, penei Shabbat nekabela. Lechadodi likrakala, penei Shabbat nekabela.
Shabbat Shalom. We continue with Chatzi Kaddish on page 26.
יתגדל ויתקרא שמי רבה.
Amen.
בעלמא דברה חירותי וימליך מלכותי בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי כל בית ישראל בעגלה ובזמן קריב אמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם ולעלמי עלמיה. יתברך, יתברך, וישתבח, ויפאר, ויתרומם, ויתנשא, ויתהדר, ויתעלה, ויתהלל, שמי דקודשה, בריחו לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה. תושבחתה ונחמתה דאמירן בעלמא ואמרו Amen.
We rise in either body or spirit for the Baruch Hu on page 28.
Yai dai da dai, yai dai da dai, yai dai 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 dai, yai dai da dai, yai dai da dai, yai dai 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 dai. Baruchu et Adonai hamevorach. Baruchu et Adonai hamevorach. Baruch Adonai hamevorach leolam vaed. Baruch Adonai hamevorach leolam vaed. Yai dai da dai, yai dai da dai, yai dai 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 dai, yai dai da dai, yai dai da dai, yai dai 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 dai.
We read together on the bottom of page 31. This is an hour of change. Within it we stand uncertain on the border of light. Shall we draw back or cross over? Where shall our hearts turn? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? This is the hour of change, and within it we stand quietly on the border of light. What lies before us? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? Baruch atah Adonai, Hamariv Aravim.
אהבת עולם בית ישראל, עמך אהבת, תורה ומצוות, חוקים ומשפטים, אותנו למדת. אהבת עולם בית ישראל, עמך אהבת, תורה ומצוות, חוקים ומשפטים, אותנו למדת. על כן אדוני אלוהינו, בשוכבנו ובקומנו, נשיח בחוקך, נשיח בחוקך. אהבת עולם בית ישראל, עמך אהבת, תורה ומצוות, חוקים ומשפטים, אותנו למדת. ונשמח בדברי תורתך, ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד. כי הם חיינו באורך ימינו, ובהם נגה יומם ולילה. אהבת עולם בית ישראל עמך אהבת. תורה ומצוות חוקים ומשפטים אותנו לימדת. אותנו לימדת. אותנו לימדת. Shema Yai-da-dai-dai, Yai-dai-dai-dai-dai, Yai-dai-dai-dai-dai-dai, Yai-dai-dai-dai-dai, Shema, Shema Yisrael, Shema Yisrael, Adonai, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto, Le'olam Va'ed. Shema, Shema Yisrael, Adonai Echad. Shema, Shema Yisrael, Adonai Echad.
Please be seated.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך. ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
Page 39. In a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness and peace, give us the courage to say, Adonai, there is one God in heaven and earth. The high heavens declare your glory. May earth reveal your justice and love. From bondage in Egypt we were delivered. At Sinai we bound ourselves to your way. Inspired by prophets and instructed by sages, time and again we overcame oppressive forces. Though our failings are many and our faults are great, it has been our glory to bear witness to our God, keeping alive in dark ages your vision of a world redeemed. Let us continue to work for the day when the nations will be one and at peace. Then shall we rejoice as Israel did, singing on the shores of the sea.
Die, 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 die. Yai, die, 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 die. Yai, die, 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 die. Yai, die, 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 die. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nedar ba'kodesh, mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar ba'kodesh. Nora tehilot osei felem, Nora tehilot osei felem, Adonai yimloch leolam va'ed. Malchutecha ra'u banecha, bokei hayam lifnei Moshe uMiriam. Ze Elianu ve'amru, Ze Elianu ve'amru, Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar ba'kodesh, mi kamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar ba'kodesh. Nora tehilot osei felem, Nora tehilot osei felem, Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Hashkiveinu, Adonai Eloheinu, Hashkiveinu leshalom, V'ha'amideinu shomreinu lechayim, Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha. Hashkiveinu, Adonai Eloheinu, Hashkiveinu leshalom. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ידדדדדדד. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. Na 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 Adonai. Na 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 Sfatai tiftach. Na 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 Ufi Agid Tehilatecha. Adonai, Adonai, Sfatai tiftach. Adonai, Ufi Agid Tehilatecha. Adonai, Adonai, Sfatai tiftach. Adonai, Ufi Agid Tehilatecha. Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanorah, El Elyon, גומל חסדים טובים וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו ואהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע, משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מחכה חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבולות ומי דומה לך, מלך מביס ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
We continue now with Tfilat Halev, the personal and private prayer of the heart, either using what's in your prayer book until page 63, or more importantly, the words inscribed upon your heart, after which, if you are standing, you may be seated.
עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל יושבי תבל. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol yoshvei tevel.
I find it interesting, not sure why, because it has very little actually to do with anything else, but I find it interesting that we are in the penultimate Shabbat of 2023, and we're also in the penultimate Torah portion of the book of Genesis. I don't know why this fascinates me. It's really just luck of the draw, but there's a nice parallelism with it. Our Torah portion this week, Vayigash, is, I think, an example of when family dynamics run amok, but can also be brought back together. For those of you who have been paying attention to the Torah portions, we're in the part of the Torah portion where Joseph is in Egypt, and he is controlling pretty much the land. He's number 2 in terms of power in Egypt. He controls all of the grain and food for all of Egypt and the neighboring areas. And people come to him for food. He's literally controlling whether or not the entire nation eats. Tremendous amount of power. And who is before him asking for food from last week's Torah portion? And now the story gets resolved this week, but his brothers, some of his brothers, not all of his brothers. One of them, Benjamin, is back in the land, and the previous parsha is able to convince or to set up the scenario where Benjamin has to come, and so we can see if he's alive or not. And anyway, Joseph is sold into slavery many years prior. That's how he ended up in Egypt. His brothers sell him into slavery. So boys, whenever things get bad between the two of you, just remember, there's always selling your brother into slavery. But can you imagine what a reconciliation would have been? To see your brothers for the first time. But then in this Torah portion this week, the announcing to them, I am your brother Joseph. Can you imagine how the brothers might have felt? Here's this man that controls whether or not we live or we die, we eat or we starve, and he's our brother Joseph, who we sold to slavery? I can only imagine the fear that would have come out of this. And yet he says to them, don't worry, don't be afraid. I'm exactly where I need to be. You didn't do this to me. This was the path God put me on. Is my father alive? Let's all bring the family back together. The story resolves with everybody together as one family. Of course, the next chapter, the first chapter of Exodus, we find that we've been slaves for 435 years, so there are ups and downs to the story. But to me, it's a reminder that no matter what's happening in our lives, no matter how dark it might be, we sometimes, and somehow always manage to find where we're supposed to be. As Joseph told his brothers, I needed to be here so I could save everybody. And if God didn't give me those dreams to interpret that led you to sell me to slavery, that ended me up in prison, that ended me up here in front of the Pharaoh, we would have all starved. I was exactly where I needed to be. I think I'm thinking about that message because I'm looking out at all of you. I'm looking out at our community. I'm looking out at our world. One of the great honors of my life is to be the rabbi here, which means that I don't just get to organize, a mitzvah day next month, or come and lead services with a cantor, or tell stories to the religious school. But I also hear your stories of what's happening in your lives, of what's going on with your families, with the heartache, with the trouble, with the illness, with the pain, and yes, also all the celebrations. I've been hearing a lot of stories of heartbreak lately, whether it's personal drama or family drama or health, but also world drama, and how we've been impacted by this war in Israel, and how the world changed for us after October 7th. We know that the story of Joseph resolves nicely because we read it. And in this week's Torah portion, there are hugs and tears and kisses and gladness. And it makes us forget the sleepless nights that Joseph spent in prison, forgotten, or his journey in the wagon on his way to slavery. He had no idea how his story would unfold. And for many of us, I feel like we're in that moment of not knowing how our story is going to unfold. This isn't a story written thousands of years ago that we already know the resolution to. The truth is, we don't know how our stories are going to end. And we don't know what's going to happen next. Where I find strength right now, because I'm sitting with many of the same emotions that all of you are, is that we're doing it together as a community. That no one in this room is alone. No one in this room is alone, and there is strength in community. There's strength in being together in the unknown. There's strength in being able to share your story, even if it doesn't get a special answer. To just share your story with your community and to know that you're not alone is important, and that we will all get through this together. Yes, on Shabbat we join together as one congregation to celebrate joy and life and living and the power of what it means to live. But we also think about those whose lives have become precarious, who are wrestling with illness and doubt and the uncertainty of tomorrow. We each know somebody or are that person. So for tonight's Misha Barak prayer, I'm going to invite you to either say the name of someone you are thinking of aloud, or I want to invite you to open up your trifold service booklet and find the name of someone in that booklet to name. I'm going to invite us in a moment to say those names aloud together, and if the names overlap, that's okay. The one who needs to hear them all will hear them all. But it's a reminder that each of these solitary names are together as one, as a community of people together looking for healing and wholeness. We say those names together. Nice. And if it's your own name, that's okay too. O God of healing, we name those who are facing illness and pain. We join our prayers together with the prayers of those who love them. Give them renewed comfort and courage. Strengthen in them the healing powers you place within us all. Guide the hands and hearts of those who are entrusted with their care. May the knowledge of your love and ours give added hope to them and their families. May they find even greater strength because our prayers are linked to theirs. As together we say, Amen.
Sheberach Avoteinu Avraham Yitzchak veYaakov Sarah Rivka Rachel veLeah uYivarech v'yirapeh et hacholim el na refana la el na refana la el na refana Avoteinu Avraham Yitzchak veYaakov Sarah Rivka Rachel veLeah uYivarech v'yirapeh et hacholim.
We continue on page 282 as we rise neither body or spirit for Elena.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא.
We join together on page 287. May we gain wisdom in our lives, overflowing like a river with understanding. Loved, each of us, for the peace we bring to others. May our deeds exceed our speech, and may we never lift up our hand but to conquer fear, doubt, and despair. Rise up like the Son of God over all humanity. Cause light to go forth over all the lands between the seas, and light up the universe with the joy of wholeness, of freedom, and of peace.
ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד ושמו אחד ושמו אחד.
It is a fearful thing to love what death can touch, a fearful thing to love, hope, dream, to be and oh, to lose. A thing for fools this, and a holy thing to love. For your life has lived in me, your laugh once lifted me, your word was gift to me. To remember this brings a painful joy. 'Tis a human thing, love, a holy thing to love what death has touched. On this Shabbat, we recall the loved ones whom death has recently taken from us, those whose families are observing the Shloshim. We remember William Edward Foreman, husband of Phyllis of blessed memory and Diane Foreman, stepfather of Frederick Kamen and Jennifer Senek, and step-grandfather of Julian Senek Kamen. And we remember Corinne Gorlick, wife of Jerry of blessed memory and sister of Barbara and Stan Bruskin. And we remember Natalie Fisherman, wife of Martin of blessed memory, mother of Richard and Barbara, and Pamela and Bruce, and grandmother of Rebecca and Michael, Philip and Craig. And we remember Elaine Katz, wife of Stanley, mother of Jack and Elise, Joseph and Catherine and Howard of blessed memory, and grandmother of Melissa, Josh, and Sarah. And we remember Dr. Harold Davis, husband of Isabel of blessed memory, father of Lowell and Georgie, grandfather of Benjamin and Allison, Jonathan, Stephen, DeMars, Brian and Rebecca, and great-grandfather of Abby, Wes, Nora, and Stella. And we also remember previous senior rabbi of our synagogue, Rabbi Jack Sparrow, husband of Marilyn Spiro of blessed memory. And Jack was the senior rabbi here from, I believe, 1962 to 1968. We also remember those who died at this season in years past, whom we have taken into our hearts with our own. And if you're joining us online to say Kaddish for a loved one, please say their names aloud at home. And if you're here in person to say Kaddish, please say their names as I look around the sanctuary. Zichronam livracha. May all their names and memories only be for a blessing. I invite all the mourners, if able, to rise for Kadisha Tome, Mourner's Kaddish on page 294. Yit Gadal, V'Kadash, Shmei Rabbah, V'Alma Divrach Hirutei, V'Amlik Malchutei, V'Chai Echon, V'Yom Echon, V'Chai D'Kol Beit Yisrael, V'Agala V'Zman Kariv V'Imru, Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah Mevarach Le'olam Olamei Almaya, Yitbarak V'Yishtabach V'Yitfa'ar V'Yitromam V'Yitnaseh, V'Yitadar V'Yitaleh V'Yitalal, Shmei D'Kudashah B'Richu, Leila Minko Birchata V'Shirata, Tush B'Chata V'Nechamata, Damiran B'Alma V'Imru, Amen. Yehei Shlama Rabba Min Shemaya, V'Chaim Aleinu V'Al Kol Yisrael, V'Imru, Amen. Osei Shalom B'Mromav, Hu Ya'aseh Shalom Aleinu V'Al Kol Yisrael, V'Imru, Amen. May the source of peace bestow peace to all who mourn, and may we be a source of comfort to all who are bereaved, as we say, Amen.
Say shalom bimromav, יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ויאמרו אמן.
Just a few announcements before we conclude our service. First, Saturday, January 6th is our Anshe Emeth Community Day of Service. We're going to be doing 3 projects, one for Elijah's Promise, another for Interfaith Rise, and then another for our midnight run that we're going to be doing, and a couple of other things in there as well. Please RSVP and come. We'd love to have you join us as we do some wonderful mitzvahs to help care for the community around us. As we are finding such brokenness, this is one way of bringing light to a world that feels broken and helping to fix some of that pain. Our next congregational dinner is Friday, January 5th. Please remember to RSVP. And at the conclusion of our service, we're going to be joining in Reitman Hall for Kiddush and Motzi, because we have all of our guests of the homeless shelter with us for the next week and a half. So we've displaced ourselves so that they can have the benefit of having a nice, comfortable place for this week and a half. And a big thank you to our Friday night band, our Achshav band, and Leah Frank as well, all under the guidance of Cantor Stanton.
Okay. We close today with the singing of a song that we learned last week together on page 322, Ein Keloheinu. Please rise. Ein Keloheinu, Ein Kadonenu, Ein Kemakenu, Ein Kemoshienu, Ein Keloheinu, Ein Kadonenu, Ein Kemakenu, Ein Kemoshienu. Mi Eloheinu, mi Kadonenu, mi Kemakenu, mi Kemoshienu. Ein Keloheinu, Ein Kadonenu, Ein Kemakenu, Ein Kemoshienu. Ein Keloheinu, Ein Kadonenu, Ein Kemakenu, Ein Kemoshienu. Nodel Eloheinu, Nodel Adonenu, Nodel Makenu, Nodel Moshienu. Ein Keloheinu, Ein Kadonenu, Ein Kemakenu, Ein Kemoshienu. Ein Keloheinu, Ein Kadonenu, Ein Kemakenu, Ein Kemoshienu. Baruch Eloheinu, Baruch Adonenu, Baruch Makenu, Baruch Moshienu. Ein Keloheinu, Ein Kadonenu, Ein Kemakenu, Ein Kemoshienu. Ein Keloheinu, Ein Kadonenu, Ein Kemakenu, Ein Kemoshienu. Atahu Eloheinu, Atahu Adonenu, Atahu Makenu, Atahu Moshienu. Ein Keloheinu, Ein Kadonenu, Ein Kemakenu, Ein Kemoshienu. Ein Keloheinu, Ein Kadonenu, Ein Kemakenu, Ein Kemoshienu.
May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may this day fulfill its promise. Amen and Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.